Today we are searching for some 90s gold and a product that really only has one big card that we can hit, but we're using the extra time to talk about a question that I'm getting asked a lot recently, and that question is whether or not it is worth buying 90s wax to rip it. So we're going to get into that and some packs and a whole lot more. Let's get right into it. Welcome to the most passionate content for card collectors on YouTube and possibly the whole entire internet. As usual, I am your host, Jake Roy, 90s B-Ball Cards here on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok every once in a blue moon, apparently. So today we are busting into some packs from a kind of odd year in the hobby. So 94, 95 Topps Embossed. Like I said at the beginning, we are searching for gold. So that is the one insert that we can get. And really the big card is the Jordan Gold. And 94, 95 products, as you might remember from some of our prior openings, some of those don't have Jordan cards because that was the year that he was retired and came back late in the year, really towards the end of the season in the playoff run. So this is one of the few products that has Jordan cards in it from that season. And like I said, we're talking about, because this card, this set, I should say, this product, is really just having that one insert, a very good way of us looking at whether or not it is worth ripping into wax. So before we get into the packs and the fire that we could hit, we'll look into that very quickly. The boxes of these sell for about $120, $150 last time I looked. So if we're looking at that for a basis point, the packs I picked up I've had for a long time. So we're not going to use that price point because that's not the current price. But keep that in mind as we're going through and we're talking about the cards, and at the end we will talk about best case scenario with this box and what you'll be looking at to get your money back or whatever else might be the case. So let's get right into the fire and talk more about it. All right, so here we go. Here are the cards that we are looking at. So wanted to make sure we showed the base cards. I think these are really cool looking cards. As the name implies, this is a Topps product that was embossed. So you've got embossing all around. You've got a really cool basketball border. The player pops out, as well as you got some texture for the basketball. I think it's really cool, especially for that time in the hobby. These are pretty thick cards, and condition can definitely be tricky with these, as you can imagine, with both how thick they are, as well as the technology that was used at the time, the embossing and the color on the borders. And you've got edge-to-edge color on the back. The embossing pops through on the back as well. So you've got a little bit of embossing on the player there as well on the back, which is very cool, very unique, especially for the 90s, but also part of why these cards were so thick. So here we get the penny, and then you can see the stark contrast with the gold. So the golds are one per pack, essentially. So we should be seeing one in each of these packs. Like I said, the Jordan is the big one. This penny here is about a $5 card, roughly. There are also rookies. The Grant Hill and the Jason Kidd are the most sought after rookies in the entire product. But the rookies don't really demand a whole ton of value on the open market. So condition, again, is key. So if you see higher graded copies, those are definitely going to go for a bit more. But it's really hard to kind of justify at the current PSA prices, you know, $50 a card if you can get an economy submission to send really any of these in. It's really pretty big guesswork. And these cards really don't grade very well. Very, very low pop cards for a 10 as well. So those are astronomically hard to get. But I really like the gold cards here. You know, this looks really cool for penny. Like I said, the Jordan is the big one. The Jordan Raw, again, condition is very definitely key. But the average is about $50 for a raw Jordan. You know, bad condition ones, you could see $20 or $30. Good condition, you could see between $50 and $70. So, you know, again, if you see a good graded copy of that, that's definitely going to demand more, but not a ton of those out there. So that's what we could be looking to get. Let's not waste any more time and get right into the packs and hope we see some great fire here. All right, here we go. We have got 3 packs. You see 6 embossed cards right there. It includes 1 special foil insert card, so 1 per pack on those golds. That's what they're denoting there. Boy, That pack really really was fighting me there. All right, so we got Wayman Tisdale. We got Detlef Schrempf with the old Sonics uniform. Love that. Here's the gold, it looks like. We got a Yinka Dar. So that is the rookie that we were talking about. Obviously, it's not the ones that we were looking for, but that's what you would see for a gold rookie. The regular ones will be silver all the way around. Some cool texture here, embossing in a very 90s design in there. So we'll put that aside. We got a nice Rick Smits, Derek Coleman, DC, and there's the base rookie, so a very good contrast there with the Carlos Rogers, and yeah, that was 6 cards, so there we go, pack number 1. Much better opening there with a pack number 2. Mark Jackson, lots of Pacers here. Sean Kemp to go with Detlef. Looks like we've got our gold coming here. And we've got Tom Gugliotta with the Warriors. Not something you see every day, so we'll put that aside. Nick Van Exel, we've got Muhammad Abdul Rauf, and then we've got a rookie here with Eric Mobley. All right, last pack here. Really want to see a Jordan. I would love to see another penny in my collection as well. All right, another great Seattle Sonic. We've got Gary Payton. So I can see the gold is a star or a veteran, whichever you want to call it. So we got a chance at a Jordan here. Patrick Ewing, great photo there, and not the Jordan, Loy Vaught, the Clipper great. But that's all right. We can still hold out hope for Grant Hill or a Jason Kidd rookie, perhaps. Charles Oakley, nice picture there on the horizontal of Kevin Johnson. And Robert Horry, but he was not a rookie, so I don't know why he's in that pattern. That's interesting. He was a rookie in 92, 93, so very confused what's going on there. But all right, that's what we got. All right, so nothing really to write home about. I did take a look at that Robert Horry, and the reason why it has that different pattern that looks a lot like the rookies is apparently to commemorate the championship that the Rockets had. So that one championship that the Bulls weren't there for, that the Rockets were able to steal from my Magic. So a little bit of sour grapes there, just a little bit. Yeah, so we want to talk about really that question that we have about ripping into 90s wax. So like I said, boxes of these, you're looking at about $120, $150, sometimes $170 from what I can see for a sealed box. Individual packs are pretty hard to come by, actually. You don't find them too often. Not sure exactly the reason, if they just don't come up for sale or if they're just scarce to see people break open these boxes. But if you look at the best card that you can hit being that Jordan, which is not a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination, if you get a box and break it, they're going to pull a Jordan gold. You know, but like we said, right around that $50 price point. Obviously, grading it, getting a PSA 10 is possible, but extraordinarily difficult to do. Even if you hit the Jordan, it's probably not going to be a 10. Centering, edge wear, all that kind of stuff can easily come out of the pack with issues. You've seen our PSA returns. We've got some pack fresh cards that have come back as being miscut or being too small or whatever. So definitely not a guarantee with any 90s cards. But if you were to pull a Jordan, let's just say you have the best box possible. You pull a Jordan gold, it's about $50. Let's say you pull a penny gold, another $5. You pull a Shaq gold, that's another $5. You pull a Jason Kidd and a Grant Hill gold, maybe those are like $5 to $10 a piece. Really everything else other than those cards, you're looking at about $1 or less for a gold. The base Jordan, you're looking at like $5 to $10, and any of the stars I just mentioned, you're looking at about $1 or $2. So in your best case scenario box opening, you are not going to make back that money. So if you're opening a box of cards from the 90s, and this is just one microcosm, but this is pretty true for most of them, the ROI for your best box possible might break even at this point in time. It wasn't the case when I started the channel years and years ago. But that really brings us to the point in the topic that you have to ask yourself when you're thinking about ripping open a box is, what are you looking to get, right? If you're ripping it open because you want to get that big hit, you want to get that big card, or there's a couple of big cards, probably your best use of your money is going to be going and buying those singles out in the secondary market. Even if you want a good conditioned copy and buying them graded, typically that's going to be a better route, like a product like this. But if you're looking for some fun, if you're looking for some entertainment, if you're looking for some education on the product, if you're looking to maybe teach your kids or somebody else that's getting into the hobby, that is a value that is really very hard to quantify and is different from person to person. So the entertainment or the experience value is something that I think has to be factored in there. You can't just look at it from a pure ROI standpoint, because I think at that point the equation is skewed in the favor of just leaving it sealed. But for some people, there really isn't much entertainment value or experience cost in breaking open 90s wax, and I totally get that. So that's why it is really different from person to person. Typically my first question when anybody DMs me, and I get a lot of questions that are really right along these lines: should I open this? Should I rip this? I always ask, what are you looking to get out of it, right? What are your intentions for ripping this? And if you're looking to have some fun, and like most recently, somebody, I can't remember what the box was, but somebody was asking me about a box. They ripped it with their son and they had a blast. They didn't get their money back. They didn't get a return on their investment, but that wasn't what they were looking to do. They were looking to have some fun and enjoy some cards and learn a little bit alongside their son. And I think that's great. You can't put a price on that. I did that a ton with my dad, and I'm sure that if you asked him if we could go back and he could pay twice the price, he would have paid it just for the fun and the memories and all of that. If you're just looking to rip and get your money back with the cards, 90s wax probably isn't going to give you a good ROI. So those are my thoughts there. If you have any questions, any specific examples, let me know. Shoot me a DM, leave it down in the comments. Happy to talk about that. That's really my thoughts based on the prices right now in the market for 90s wax and what you can get for singles in my experience. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing, hit that bell icon so you don't miss any videos in the future. New videos drop once, sometimes twice a week. Like this week we had a bonus video. So we look into collector interviews occasionally, looks into my PC, 90s openings, sometimes some PSA openings, which we have some more coming, and so much more. So if you're into that, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Thanks. We'll talk later.